Hey everybody, it's Mark and Theo with Renegade Adventures here. Here to talk about our nuCamp tag back here. This is the nuCamp tag Boondock XL. And as you'll see here in a little bit, we ran into some problems in Colorado, about 2,000 miles away from home, where we got into some trails that were probably a little harder than we were expecting, rated a little harder than they should have been, or should have been rated harder than they were. And if you know anything about these trailers, they are advertised as a boondock trailer to get off the beaten path and do some camping off grid, and they're great for that. However, to an extent, they're not built for rock crawling by any means. They have the torsion axle underneath, and they are not a full solid cage like some other trailers out there. So basically what happened is we planned a trip out to the Flat Tops area with an off-road group with my sister in the Denver area, and got into some trails, got up near Adams Lake, and we made it all the way up until the last little bit, pulling into our campsite, smacked a rock, going a little too fast, and broke the axle. These trailers are great, like I said, but as we'll go through the video here, they're not built for what we were doing with it. The fact that we made it home, well, almost home, after we broke the axle speaks volumes to what the trailer actually does and can do. However, getting it home cost us an axle, wheel bearing, and 2 tires. But overall, we did have a great time and looking forward to our next trip this coming year. All right. So we're going to go through a couple pictures and videos here showing the trip with the trailer, without the trailer. Now, even the areas that we did not have the trailer, we did have to bring the trailer through on the way out. You can see my sister's trailer up ahead of me here, and here's a little clip of our camp spot right up on top of the rocks here next to Adams Lake on Flat Tops, and it was absolutely gorgeous, but the mosquitoes were terrible. Another area in Flat Tops there. We went out exploring the day after we got there, left the trailers behind. This little hill climb section here, luckily on the way out we went down it, not up it, with the trailers. So the trailer was able to get down a little easier. Unfortunately, this was already after we had a broken axle, so it made getting out pretty rough. We decided to take it slow, obviously. I took the spare tire off, put the regular tire back on. Even though it was still rubbing the trailer, I had more clearance with the actual tire on rather than the spare. I don't think I would have cleared without the spare tire being there. And here's a casualty on the side of the trail, luckily not with our group. Broken rear axle kind of left there. Hopefully they got back there to fix it. We're throwing the spare on the trailer here to see if we can get a little more clearance. Unfortunately, we didn't have enough height to get down the trail, so we ended up putting the tire back on. Afterwards, once we got off the trails, we decided to see if we could bend those spindles back on the axle. Use some winches, as you can see here. Didn't really do what we wanted it to do. We were just trying to buy a little more clearance so it would stop rubbing the tires on the trailer itself. What was that? Now, this is back in the Denver area. You can really see how bad that axle was. And rubbing against the trailer, obviously we'd have some tire blowouts if we tried to continue. Now here is back in North Carolina. I made it all the way from Denver to Burlington, North Carolina before I completely lost the axle wheel bearings and had to have it towed the rest of the way. And here we
we are with the new axle back on the road.
So as you can see, we've got the trailer home. We managed to get some new tires on here. We got our new Dexter torsion axle, and everything's been running great since then. It's been probably about 8 months now. It's been out on multiple rentals since then. We've towed it around the Southeast, no problems. We actually believe that the axle we had on there was faulty to begin with. There was a recall from Dexter. Ours wasn't part of the recall. However, we were having some issues with the tires towing in towards the top before we even got out to Colorado. Super easy swap out. Dexter did cover the axle for us, and it was, I think, 4 bolts to put the new axle on, maybe 6, I can't remember. But it was super easy. Threw on some new tires, and we are back rocking and rolling.